Come on, there's gotta be something useful here.
Emberly's first encounter with heroes and so-called villains had been less than desirable. So she had to do research. She had to find some way to get what was rightfully hers. So she checked the local library, but all she could find was fiction. Nothing useful.
May I help you?
Who are you?
My name is Alex. I work here.
She was at a library. Of course the employees would notice the crazy girl muttering to herself.
Good. So you're someone who can help me. Do you know where I can find information on superheroes and supervillains? For research.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Non-fiction. I didn't even know there was fiction until now.
You're not from around here, are you?
How dare they imply that? Luckily for them, they were correct. And she wasn't in a position to argue. So despite her desire to spitfire at them, she held herself back.
Yeah, I'm not.
How about I help you out? We have a lot of resources here that can assist you.
Suddenly she realized that holding her tongue may have just won the good graces of this stranger. Someone who could help her.
Sure.
Eddie could quickly see how close Kelly was to Max as they walked down through the streets. Almost protective, really. Which is confusing because she now knows that he's Dairyman. Perhaps she doesn't understand the rapid healing factor, or she just has a massive crush on him. Either way, Eddie couldn't blame her. He also noticed something as she got close to him in the streets. Eddie had met her a few times before, and he is certain that Kelly is shorter than him. Now she's easily over 6 feet. As he sips his to-go coffee, he looks up at her and it clicks. The night before, she was over 15 feet tall. This had to be related.
So, are you having fun with those new powers?
Huh?
You're a lot taller than you used to be. Just yesterday, you were shorter than me.
And I hated it.
I thought so. I didn't think women in their early 20s get growth spurts.
Luckily, I don't know enough people who would pay attention to the height difference, so I'll keep it this way.
I'll remind you, Kelly is now easily over 6 feet tall.
So, where exactly are we going?
The SHGO base, the one in Queen Beach City.
The one your parents worked at?
Yeah, that's the one.
So we're going to the SHGO to get her signed up?
Don't you mean SHGO?
No, he does not.
So, Kelly, have you thought about the big question? Hero or villain?
I can't decide. Should I be adored or feared?
Adored.
Feared.
You two aren't helping.
Just be yourself. And I'm pretty sure yourself is a hero, but if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
Be myself, huh?
Okay, I know it sounds cheesy, but... oh, whatever you pick, you can't really go wrong.
You see, the origin story of a superhero is the crux of who they are. It is what informs who they become, and why they do what they do. And Kelly's began on the roof of their old home. 11 years ago, an 11-year-old Kelly was reading an issue of her favorite comic series, Star Sentinel. The sky is bright with stories yet to be told, and luckily for her, they illuminate the comic book just fine. At this point, she was still a young, hopeful girl who admired the heroes she read about in comic books. But Kelly was special. Her parents get to work alongside superheroes, which only allows her fascination to grow.
Hey, here you are. How was the recent issue?
Amazing. Can you believe the entire story is based on a real person from centuries ago?
I mean, allegedly. Minus the space stuff, of course, because that's all pretend.
I don't know. Legend says that her ship is still out there and can be found in outer space.
So why does she need a spaceship if she can grow so big?
Because she can't fly, silly. Or breathe in space, I believe.
I mean, superheroes exist, so I suppose Star Sentinel could too.
And maybe we could find her. Or at least find the ship.
In space?
Yeah, why not?
Me and my siblings are moving.
I'm sorry. What?
I don't know. My parents say we need to move to my Uncle Gray's farm in Quaintown, but I don't want to go.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Kelly looks down, suddenly unsure what to say, but she notices the issue of Star Sentinel that she was reading.
But we'll still be friends. When Star Sentinel got separated from her best friend, they still kept in touch.
I promise I'll see you.
I know you will. We'll always be there for each other. Promise.
A few years later, when Kelly was 14, she enters a building run by the Superhuman Government Organization. She goes up to the clerk like she would any other day, but notices new faces. A new hire, likely an intern.
Hey, what are my mom and dad up to?
They're off in the Samson lab. I suggest you wait here until they're done.
Kelly backed up. She had no intention of causing a scene, but she wasn't going to let that get in her way. So when the clerk's back was turned, she headed off in that direction anyway.
Hey, where'd you... No.
Kelly snuck through the hall and only noticed she was being followed by the clerk after turning her first right. She follows with a left, trying to evade her. But before she can get close, the clerk gets a call on her earpiece.
Hey, the Cassandra kid is headed toward the project. I'm trying to stop her. Wait, what do you mean let her come?
The whole compound rumbled like an earthquake. Kelly rushed as quickly as she could. Not away, but towards the explosion.
Oh, wait!
But this time, Kelly is able to outrun the clerk.
What? What's going on?
A superhero trying to protect her stopped her in her tracks. Topaz Tiger. She had seen him around, but now he was trying to stop her.
Let me go! My parents are that way! I said let me go!
I can't. It's too dangerous.
No! Now!
I'll go. Just stay here. What's your name?
Kelly, my mom runs this place. Please!
I'll do what I can, Kelly.
This would normally be the origin of the superhero. That accident not only left her an orphan, it also left her best friend one. As the commotion of the next few days rang numb in her ear, she pondered. Was this real? Who did this? And how she, a teenager, could fix it. Kelly knew something more was going on. There had to be. This was her origin story. But of course, she needed her trusty sidekick. So, she took the first chance at the funeral to rush over to Max.
There you are.
Oh, Kelly. Hey.
I'm sorry. This is the first time we've seen each other in person for a while.
It's totally okay. How are you? Are you okay?
Not great. You?
Same. It's weird. My parents felt just as distant to me as you. So, I guess my feelings are complicated.
Oh.
I imagine you must be so sad and broken up. I hope you're okay.
Kelly could see he was trying to understand how she was feeling. Always the empath. But she didn't notice the same grief in him she had. She didn't know how to react to that. Then she sees the others arrive behind Max, noticing him from across the field. 3 of his friends, 1 guy, and 2 girls come together.
Who are they?
Oh, my friends. Eddie, Kira, and Lucy. Here for support. You should meet them.
Max went to retrieve them, hoping they could help Kelly. But to Kelly, it was a sudden reminder that she didn't have that. But Max did. Max belonged to a completely different world now. She left before Max had any chance to introduce her to his friends. She was on her own. When Kelly got home to the SHGO base, she hears a couple of agents, mostly voices she does not recognize.
She doesn't want to leave.
We can't just leave her here. Her parents were the only reason she was even allowed on the premises, let alone live here. We can't have a child present without parental supervision.
It feels wrong to just let her go.
Her uncle and aunt live in the city, not far away. She'll be taken care of, and she'll get to live a semi-normal high school life. It's the best thing we can do for her.
Okay. I'll go talk to her.
She didn't know the figure who came in to talk to her. Maybe she saw them throughout the halls a bit, but besides that, she was clueless. But they went to talk to the now troubled girl with an attempted smile. It still felt like genuine help and care.
Hi, Kelly.
Kelly's whole plan came crashing down around her. How was she supposed to solve the mystery if she had no resources to call upon, no powers, and no more parents with the command to give their daughter information? Her whole life was centered around being their daughter. If with great power comes great responsibility, Kelly had neither. The friendly face tried to make the news softer, but one look at her face and they could tell she heard the whole thing.
I'm sorry.
That was all they could think to say. All Kelly could think to do was hug them. After that, she could never figure out what she wanted to do with her life. She had her calling, which was robbed from her the day her parents died. So, she settled for a desk job at Valpone Labs.
Believe in your dreams, and you too can be marked for the stars.
Kelly hated the job. She especially hated it when she got in trouble for reading a comic book when there was nothing to do.
Hey, I was reading that.
You're supposed to be working.
You haven't given me anything, man. So I was waiting.
Well, keep yourself busy then.
There's nothing I can do. It's all done until you give me something else to do.
You want something to do? Clean up the venue on the roof.
That's not part of my job.
So now it is.
The broom and garbage bag did not stay in Kelly's hands for long. How could they when she looked to the skyline and only heard commotion from the street? She looked down to see a fight going on between a hero and a villain in the streets. The life she longed for, just barely out of reach. She looks out at the skyline that she couldn't see far into. It suffocated her.
I'm sorry, Star Sentinel, but you're wrong. Not everyone is marked for the stars.
Another funeral. Kelly saw Max sitting by himself in the crowd.
Hey.
Max hugs her.
Oh,
She hugs him back.
I'm so sorry this happened.
She pats his back and he squeaks a bit in pain.
Sorry.
You're right. This shouldn't have happened.
I know. He was very young.
It feels like my whole life is being upended. My brother is dead. My sister is off to her new job. I'm alone.
This time she saw tears in his eyes. This wasn't the same pain she had years ago. This was different. But she took her opportunity.
You aren't alone. Look, I know this won't fix everything. But when your sister moves, you're welcome to move in with me.
I don't want to be a burden.
You won't. I promise. When we were kids, we promised we'd be there for each other. I know it's been 11 years, but I still remember that day. Don't you?
Yeah.
I meant it.
Kelly, I should tell you something about the time I spent on the farm. What I was doing.
Shh. Now is not the time. Let yourself grieve.
Okay.
Kelly now found her way back to the place where her dreams began, and where they were crushed. She pauses at the door to the building. Her backstory was robbed from her. She would not let this new one be taken for granted.
Are you okay?
I haven't been here since I was kicked out.
Kicked out?
We were only allowed to stay because our parents worked for the SHGO.
Once they were dead, they didn't want me around anymore.
I don't think that's exactly it. They just wanted to see you safe. I'm sure they'll be happy to see you.
If they even remember me.
They led her to the same meeting room she recognized from years ago. There, going over some notes, is an agent that seemed familiar. As they look up, she recognizes the face of the person who talked to her that night. A kind face who showed compassion to a lost child.
Why, Kelly Cassandra, it's been ages.
I never got your name.
Jean Gadly, at your service.
Director Gadly. Kelly just got superpowers last night, so we wanted to get her signed up.
Excellent. She would make a fine hero.
Or villain.
If she chose, I'll go get the paperwork and a mirage. I have to say, you got a lot bigger since I saw you last.
Actually, that's my power. I have the ability to change my height. Well, at least that's all I know of so far. I got it from Miss Crystal in Valpone Labs.
Oh.
Yep, I'm sure you heard about my excellent work there.
I know you stole a mirage from us last night.
Sorry.
Speaking of which, give me a moment.
As they head out of the room, Kelly looks to the side of the office space where they have what appears to be a miniature replica of the entire city. At first, this piqued her interest as she looked around and pointed out the buildings she recognized. As she scans them, the sudden realization of her new abilities hits her, and she wonders if it's doable for her to ever actually see the city like this. And if so, does she even want to? All the thoughts start running through her head. The boys don't even notice the look on her face as they talk. Going from wonder to contemplation, it all ends up centering on Valpone Labs. She places 2 fingers on top of the model and is sure that in real life, Hogwasher is there right now. This building stands in the center of the city, one of its tallest in fact, as a symbol of technological advancement. She can't help but think of the labyrinth, the roads and streets that took her parents from her, kept her locked up, desperately wandering through the streets, pondering her place in them. The scaled-down Valpone Labs building is the worst offender. It'd feel good to crush it, to imagine the roof caving in and crashing. She's far better than this oppressive city. But suddenly...
Have you thought of a name?
Oh, no.
That's okay. This is a decision you can spend some time on.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
They had set out a few items on their desk. A bracelet, a watch, a ring, and other such accessories.
Whoa.
Take your pick.
Without much thought, Kelly's eyes turn to the watch. She fiddles with the bezel that she finds can rotate both clockwise and counter. There are so many things her fingers have to explore. She excitedly puts it on. To everyone's surprise, the bracelet turns gold.
That's new.
Whoa.
We have never seen a gold mirage before.
It's incredible.
Welcome aboard. Just one question. Do you want to be a hero more vivid.
Oh.
Emberly was hesitant to make a friend, but was debating it. Or at the very least, an alliance of convenience.
Thank you. I've learned a lot. I really appreciate it. Few in my kingdom would help me out as you have.
No worries. Out of curiosity, where are you from?
Heliode.
Like the Kingdom of Fire?
Yeah. Do you know of it?
In excitement, Alex hastily takes out a book in their bag titled The Isle of Fire and Ice, and shows it to her.
One of my favorite books. It tells of this land of fire and ice magic, where the Fire Kingdom of Heliod and the Ice Kingdom of Lunaria are at war, and the princesses of both kingdoms are gifted with fire and ice magic.
Well then, you're in for a treat.
Emberly smirks and ignites a flame in her hand.
Ta-da! Guess who you're talking to?
Emberly?
I'm in the book, huh?
Oh boy.
They paw at the pages, unsure if they should explain.
You might want to sit down. You might not like what you find.
What?
She grabs the book hastily and looks at the author, Caden Juniper.
It tells of your defeat and how the Ice Princess kills you after returning home from exile after years of training.
Well, it's propaganda.
Okay.
Sorry. It's just... The truth is, she did win. But she didn't kill me. She banished me. So now I'm the one in exile.
So you have another chance. You can make a new life for yourself.
Or at least, try to.
Suddenly, the ceiling starts to rain.
And I hate it.
Come on, let's get you out of here. I know a place you can stay.